Hello my scrappy friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are doing a traveler's notebook spread and I have a fun announcement. I am now a part of Traci Reed's design team. So if you're unfamiliar with Traci Reed, I will leave the link to her blog site down below. She is a fantastic illustrator who has done lines for Echo Park and Catherine Pooler and Simple Stories. So you have seen her work. You may not know she was the illustrator behind some collections, but she is wonderful and she does it independently as well. So I recently applied for her design team and lo and behold, I was granted one of the spots on her team. Now, caveat for me. So she does do digital products. If you are a digital scrapbooker, fantastic, and you know how to use it in Photoshop, that's your wheelhouse. For me, I'm considered her hybrid team, which means that she does make digital products. I download the files, I print them out myself, and then I will fussy cut or use my silhouette, etc., to make a tangible product. So that is what hybrid is. So if you never actually purchased from her as well, they're real easy, and you can the kits or the collections are broken down between like traveler's notebook insert papers, the journaling cards, and then also the ephemera bits. And they'll be downloadable files. You'll download them. And for me, I don't actually have a color printer in my possession right now. I am probably going to get one for Christmas this year. So I send my copies to Office Depot. They're like 10 cents a sheet, I believe. Maybe more, maybe like 20 cents. I can't remember. And so this is what I did. So right now, this is how I print it out. This is the new collection called oh my goodness, I'm going to butcher it. Autumn Enchantment. So sorry. So this is the ephemera pack. So it takes up 3 sheets. And with the files, there are the ability to put it through your Cricut or your Silhouette so that you don't have to fussy cut them out, or you can just cut them out, you know, with little tiny precision scissors. I've also printed out the 3x4 pattern cards simply because I wanted to have all the pattern papers, maybe to do something fun with. So she does the orientation as a vertical and also as a landscape. So like this one, here's the vertical, and then here's the horizontal, here's the vertical. So you get both versions. So when you get the cards, it's 3x4s as well as 4x6s. So I just sent these to print. And then I've done the journaling cards. So there are 2 collections with the journaling cards for Autumn Enchantment. So this is how it is. And I also will say a little caveat. I sent these to print without really making modifications just because I didn't realize I should have. So I guess there's a way to print them if you are printing at home where you can take off the margin, because I will say that however these printed with her like title pieces on it, they are a hair short of being an actual 3x4. They're like 2, what is it, a centimeter or little marks? Is it centimeters or wonder? Centimeter? Sorry, while I try to figure this out. It's a few centimeters off from being the true 3x4. So she told me that I needed to take off the margins, or at least have it print on the margins or something like that. I forgot how she said it, but maybe if once I get my own printer, I will know how to adjust that. But when you send them to print to Office Depot, I'm not sure if it's an adjustment, so we will learn together. So I'm just showing you the collection as a whole. And then what I also printed out already was the Traveler's Notebook signatures. So meaning that you can cut these out and then use them on either side of your page. They come 2 per page. This is just the way you print them, but you can cut them and obviously use them in any which way you want. So the color palette's really great for this autumn season. I love, you know, the rich like cinnamon and marigold colors together, but then she threw in these greens that work great, and the black is great. So all of it works really well together. And I printed out these just because you got some that were also already the papers, but I just love the large title pieces. Like this one's about a good book and some alone time. I definitely would probably use that one. I love this, The Magic is in You, Babe. It always has been. And I love this one too. So yeah, so very easy. So it's an affordable way to scrapbook, especially if you're ever on a budget, because you can download the files, you know, purchase them from her site, and then send them off to print, and you have your whole collection that you can really customize. And now, don't get me wrong, when you get the files too, and I know I'm doing a lot of explaining in the beginning, They come individual too. So these were like the pre-made sets together where you can just print them all out. But say you didn't want to do that, you can just, you know, cut and paste like this one, this one, this one, and this one onto a page and print the ones you want out only too. So that is also an option, because you get the files individually for everything in each one. So don't feel like you always have to, like, if you like this sheet and you know you wouldn't use like these two cards, don't feel bad. You can definitely make this yourself within like your own programs and stuff. I just didn't do that this time either because I was like, let me just print them all. I'm probably going to use the whole thing anyway. So for this layout, we're going to be in the Chien. So like I said, I printed them a hair shy of being an actual thing, but as soon as I figure out that caveat, I will let you know. And I was definitely loving this Autumn is a Season That Awakens the Soul. So I'm going to use this one as one of the title pieces on either that or this. And then I just made a collage of 6 photos from a recent trip to the pumpkin patch. And you can see I was going with this whole orangey color. Love this one. So I'm going to figure out what we're going to do, but I'll put you on fast forward and join me for the process. So let's get started doing this layout. What I like about these signature, how do they call them? TN signatures, is that the decorative elements or a large title piece can be on some of them, which takes away some of the creative process in a good way, meaning that the layout can be kind of easily completed in a short amount of time, which is why I actually like working in traveler's notebooks lately because of that. Because if I had to still do 12 by 12 layouts, I know that I would take such longer efforts to get those done. Whereas working in a TN or my 6 by 8, I feel like I'm able to stay very current with my stories and my memory keeping. So I have done a 6 photo collage in the app called Moldiv. I always reference that app. It's very user friendly and it doesn't leave a watermark in order to get these 2 by 2 photos for this layout. You can see that I auditioned it on a green paper and like another, I think, orangey plaid paper. But I do come back to this black that was printed beside it, and I do like it. So what I'm doing is looking at the ephemera part and getting the little moth and butterfly ephemera bits so that I can decorate and embellish the opposite side of this page with them. So I do take the time to fussy cut them out. Now you do get the files to put into your Silhouette or Cricut software. I just find it to be an extra step that sometimes I don't want to do, and I'll just fussy cut. Fussy cutting to me is not a big deal. So when I also described in the beginning on how I sort of printed these wrong without taking off the margins, makes these papers just a hair shy of being the complete traveler's notebook standard size. And I know I'll probably run into this, I'm not to say it's an issue with the 3x4 and 4x6 journaling cards. They're just going to be a hair shy of being the full size. But actually working in the traveler's notebook, it works out because it gives you just this very thin white border around both pages. And I kind of love the look when it's kind of put into the notebook. So keep that in mind. Even if you print it with the margins as I did, the white border for the cards and the pattern papers might not be such a bad look to achieve. So it was serendipity. I still like it. So in order to house my journaling, though, because that's what I was looking at when completing this layout, I ended up doing a flip for one of the photos and doing my journaling in my own penmanship with a Papermate flare. So I just made one flip with copy paper, and then I used the little, I want to call them like flags. There were 6 of them. Actually, there's more on the sheet, but I used 6 that were relevant to the photos and what I was scrapping. And all of them were just kind of like good vibes, best memories. I think it was like fall hijinks or something like that. And so they actually all worked well for these 2x2s because it didn't block too much of the photo that was relevant. So I used all 6 of them. I think there are like 2 left that I'll hopefully get to embellish on another layout in the future. So when you are watching this video is a part of a YouTube hop with some of the other crafty girls on Traci Reed's design team. So I will leave everything linked down below for you to kind of watch a bunch of inspiration a day. In case you are intimidated by using printables this day, and the release of this collection should give you a fair amount of inspiration and hopefully just inspiration in general to use different papers, because you do always want to select things in your stash like I am right now, adding some glitter pieces, some enamel dots, just so that the whole layout isn't as flat just using paper. You will see me shortly break out some trim as well to decorate the page with just a little bit of a border of trim. And so these things help the layouts have more texture and interest. So using, more texture is always a key when you have printables as your focal point. So here I am using that trim I had just mentioned, and it is simple enough, and just bringing black to the opposite side of the page so that they both are kind of, cohesive with each other. So definitely hop along. I'll leave everything linked below in addition to this collection and Traci's Reads shop where you can purchase it as well. Thank you so much. Okay, that will wrap up this video for this layout. I just wanted to add a little bit of the trim for one of these Michaels bundles in order to kind of bring over some black to the side, and I think that one did it well. It was either that one or I loved the Rick Rack one as well. Where was the Rick Rack? This one. But I just felt with the thick tape that I was using in my gun that this might stay sticky. Was the only reason I didn't choose that one. So this one covers up all that tape, and it's like really kind of textured. Love that. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, my crafty friends, bye.